Welcome back to Ravens Today. I'm your host, Connor Gioffreda, giving you all the latest updates on anything and all things Ravens. Make sure to keep subscribing to the channel and like the videos. Let's dive into the latest. All right. Harbaugh came out his usual press conference on Monday and said there are a couple of injuries. So we're going to dive into that. Marlon Humphrey is debating whether or not to get surgery on his hand. If he does get surgery, he will be out for a week or two, which is fine. Let's have him rest up, whatever. It's one of those things where we kind of don't need Marlon Humphrey for this particular week, just in my opinion, because it's the Browns, for crying out loud. And I just think that it's fine. Let him rest up, let him heal. If he needs to get surgery, get the surgery, because then he'll be 100% and ready to go later on in the season when we're going to need him. So, all right there. Rashad Bateman has an ankle sprain. Harbaugh did mention that they're going to run some tests on it, see how severe it is. It's not. It doesn't look too bad. It's something that he'll probably miss a week or two for. But it's from a hip drop tackle that was missed against the Vikings. There's the one where he almost scored a touchdown. And guess we'll have to wait and see on that. It's unfortunate, but those are the two major injuries that happened. And of course, it happens to our all-pro corner, and it happens to one of our reliable wide receivers. But this doesn't mean that, hey, this is the end of the world. All these injuries are minor, and then we'll most likely see them back in the next couple weeks, depending on the severity of it. But it's not season-ending for sure, and it's not long-term. So, again, we escaped to Minnesota in this particular case, some cuts and bruises, pretty much. I mean, in the sense of injuries, per se. Mind you, I always hate injuries. I wish they never happen. And I use the word hate because you don't want that to happen to any player. But, these things happen, and we're just glad that it's nothing too severe. Moving on here. So Harbaugh did mention that, oh, please, for the love of God, let this happen, that Carson Vincent is ready to go. He had mentioned that he has been ready to go for the past 2 weeks now, because I'm ready for a change at the offensive line. And please just put Carson Vincent there. It's getting pretty tiring to see 77, every single week in the film that comes out on social media, the film that comes out just in general when you're rewatching the highlight reel. It's just like, oh, yeah, there he is. It's just day's ruined pretty much. And I will put a disclaimer here. I can say I do not like the player. There's a difference between player and person. Player, I despise. I despise the player. Person, he's probably a wonderful human being. I wish him all the best. Player-wise, it's like, I want you off this team. I don't care where you go. Go to the Chargers, who are apparently a lot worse in the offensive line than the Ravens, which is surprising. And just help them, But the player, despise. Person, I hope he's probably a wonderful human being. But anyway, Carson Vincent's apparently ready to go. He has been for 2 weeks now. Carl Lawson, Harbaugh mentions more about him, that, you need to take reps. He needs to add some reps in there and just be and that's how he'll get ramped up a lot more, which makes sense. You don't want to throw a player like that into the fire. I mean, sure, anything to help this team, but the way everything's been going so far, let's just add them both in there, and just start giving them reps, and then ramping up if they are improving, and we see some promising looks from them. All right, Harbaugh, you mentioned, and I agree with this, the red zone struggles. Our red zone, in the first half at least, was poop. It was poop. That's what it was. And we make adjustments in the second half. That's all what we always do. But it's better to just score right off the bat, right off the first drive. But Harbaugh said that it was pretty disappointing to watch, and it's something we need to clean up. It's always been something that we need to clean up. In the first half, second half we were flying, but the first half it was just It's just we need to start like really utilizing different levels of play because we're starting to get predictable in the red zone. Whether it's QB tush push with Mark Andrews, whether it's using Derrick Henry, whether it's a play action pass from Lamar Jackson, we need to start utilizing some more creativity, especially when we're at the 1 yard line. Because come on, man, we need to score touchdowns, and our offensive line ain't helping that for sure. The the pitch pass or the pitch from Mark Andrews to Lamar in the Minnesota game, utilized that. It was like, whoa, when it happened, it was like, we never seen that before. And Harbaugh loved it. So utilize that in the end zone or something like that. Protect QB1, obviously. But it's just one of those things where it's like, dude, we need to, especially against the contender teams, we gotta make sure we're scoring. Because if we aren't scoring, we're not winning games. It's pretty much that simple. We can make adjustments in the second half for sure, but I don't want to be playing this game of catch up where we need to make 2 or 3 stops on defense in order to come back into the game in the second half. I want to make sure that we're playing our game and playing it well the whole freaking game instead of relying on adjustments in the second half. But what do I know? I'm just a fan. Moving on to the last part here, and this is kind of, I feel bad in this situation. Jair Alexander, mind you, we traded him to the Eagles for a 6th round contemporary pick, but he hasn't played a snap on the Eagles. Always been a health scratch, and now he's contemplating retiring. I bring him up because this nagging injuries that he's had since the Ravens, where he only played a couple games, didn't really contribute that much. He's constantly rehabbing it, and now he hasn't played a snap with the Eagles. It's just hard, man. It's just like one of those guys that did so well in his earlier season with the Packers, and then now we're seeing just this just take a toll on him mentally and physically, where he's like, I don't even want to play anymore if I'm just dealing with this all the time. Mind you, we did get something out of it, and we got something good out of it for what we gave, but it's just hard to see, man. I just really wish him all the best, and I hope that he doesn't feel that way. I hope that he's able to just say, listen, I need to take a year off, or I need to take this off as much as possible and really feel 100% and ready to go when I'm ready to come back. And I hope a team picks me up, and I hope it's the Ravens, because he is a very talented corner. And just watching him go through this, you just can't help but feel bad. You just want him to be out there competing. Obviously, he's on a different team, but again, he was a Raven. And it's just hard to watch, and it's hard to see. It's in the way where it's like hard to watch him like struggle mentally, and it's hard to see him go through all of the this injury woe and make like that factor contributing to his mental state. It's just when you're contemplating retirement at 28, it's like, dude, you have a few good years left. You shouldn't be retiring. You should just be like saying, listen, I gotta just narrow down, figure out what's going on, maybe get like Ronnie Stanley did, get surgery, be out for a year and a half or 2 years, and then come back and be 100% healthy. Mind you, you lose a little bit of your prime there, but at least you'd be able to come back and play the game you love. But prayers up for him, man, and I hope that he's able to, pull through mentally and physically and really, come back strong. Thank you for tuning in to Ravens Today. I'm your host, Connor Gioffreda. Again, subscribe to the channel, like the videos. Thank you guys so much for doing that. I really do appreciate all of you that tune into the show. Tell your friends, man. It's really awesome. Have a good one.